Hello ladies and gentlemen, it is me, Joey the Jag, and today I want to talk about the Tintin sequel. Now, if you haven't known, there has been a little film called The Adventures of Tintin. This was a film that was directed by Steven Spielberg that was basically the adventures of Tintin in a nice CGI cinematic amazing film. It is one of my favorite animated films, up there with many more. So it was really cool that Steven Spielberg, one of the greatest filmmakers of all time, directed The Adventures of Tintin. Now, as he directed The Adventures of Tintin movie, well, who produced it? Peter Jackson. And for years, The Adventures of Tintin sequel has been in limbo, because if you have seen The Adventures of Tintin, you know it ends on a cliffhanger, a big one, and no one knows what happens after. And so the idea was that Steven Spielberg was going to direct this particular movie, and Peter Jackson was producing it. Now it's the other way around, where Peter Jackson is going to direct the sequel to The Adventures of Tintin, and Steven Spielberg is going to produce it. Now, I'm really excited about this because I'm a huge fan of Tintin. If you don't know what Tintin is or who Tintin is, let me give you a little bit about who Tintin is. Now, for those of you that don't know, The Adventures of Tintin is based on a comic strip that was created by Belgian cartoonist Hergé. This was a comic strip from the, local comic strip of the adventures of a popular journalist. And every story had to do with a mystery where something leads to another and another and another. Basically, it could be something so simple like a crab can or a can crab, whatever, and he finds it and it leads into some crazy conspiracy, and he travels the world and turns out that the crab can is related to an ancient group of criminals, and that's basically The Adventures of Tintin. Every single story is told in that way, like the Pharaoh cigar. Basically, there's like a story where there's some cigars and Tintin leads up to that. These cigars lead all the way to ancient Egyptian time where pharaohs created these cigars and blah 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 blah. Basically, every story had to do with this journalist Tintin going around and solving cases and exploring and exposing the criminal elite as he's going all over the world. It got so popular that it came over here in the form of an animated cartoon. Now, if you don't know what the animated cartoon, but go check out the Adventures of Tintin cartoon theme song and you'll know what I'm talking about. That theme song keeps running through my head every now and then because it's so iconic. Now, if you have seen it and you have come back from seeing it, well, I will say this, that The Adventures of Tintin was my introduction into storytelling, really, because I didn't really understand the animation standpoint when it comes to animation, really. I only knew it from, it's on a movie screen, someone made it, but I never really knew the in-depths until much later as I got older. But The Adventures of Tintin taught me that you can go crazy. You can do a story so simple that can be so crazy. And I love that aspect of The Adventures of Tintin. Every single episode was just like the comics, where, for example, some lady loses her wallet and she doesn't know what happened to it. And these guys find out that there is a pickpocketer pickpocketing, little books and wallets and all that. So Tintin goes on the hunt for this pickpocket person. And on the way to finding this pickpocket person, he ends up uncovering this crazy thing to do with the sun that's about to destroy the entire world. It's insane. It's crazy. And I love those types of stories where it's something so simple. I mean, pickpocketing is not that simple. It's very common. But the idea that he follows this person and it leads to this worldwide adventure, I love that aspect of Tintin. Now, the cool part about this video in the first place is that Peter Jackson has announced that he is already going to start directing the sequel to The Adventures of Tintin. The Adventures of Tintin movie was directed by Steven Spielberg, and it was a partnership with Nickelodeon Movies and Paramount. And together they made this awesome film. I do love it. It's awesome. Basically, it's a story revolving the unicorn, the secret of the unicorn. And this is a story within the comics and in the cartoon where they find this ship, and it's basically the unicorn, and they're trying to find the other set ships. But what happens is Steven Spielberg, he was able to implement different stories of Tintin stories in one film, and it worked out very, very good. The other cool thing about this is we're getting another Tintin movie. I'm so excited for this, and just wanted to show like a little bit of announcement that Peter Jackson is going to direct a sequel to The Adventures of Tintin. They did say that there's going to be a third movie in their, I don't know, Tintin contract, or their vow or promise to each other. Steven Spielberg and Peter Jackson, they made a kind of a promise to each other that one would direct a movie, the other would produce it, and then the same goes for the other. One would produce it, and then the other direct it. So what would happen is, now that they make this movie, what would be the third movie? Who would direct that? Who would produce that? And I think it will be fair to say that maybe, and this is just big maybe Andy Serkis, who's actually one of the characters in the Adventures of Tintin movie, could potentially direct the third movie and have Steven Spielberg and Peter Jackson produce it this time around, because Andy Serkis is a huge collaborator with Peter Jackson and Steven Spielberg too. So I can see that happening, and he has directed movies before. So I think that could work out, having Andy Serkis direct a third Adventures of Tintin to kind of wrap everything up. But yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much it for the news. Maybe this isn't a big thing for you all out there, but I love The Adventures of Tintin, and I'm so excited to see more of this world that Steven Spielberg started, and I want to just see more of this. So anyways, thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.